He just said my name. Abraham. And he said, here I am. Then he said, take now your son, your only son, Isaac. Now hold on. Your only son that you waited 100 years to get. We don't even need to talk about the 100 years before. 100 years. Notice the title of the chapter is Abraham's faith confirmed. Take now your son, your only son Isaac, who you've been believing your whole life for, the miracle I gave you, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So start walking towards this area, this landmark I gave you. But notice, I didn't tell you which mountain. Just start going over there. You see that? So Abraham rose early in the morning after hearing the Lord's voice. Rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took 2 of his young men with him, 2 servants, 2 armor bearers, and Isaac his son, and he split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day, oh wait a minute, it was a journey. It wasn't just down the street. On the 3rd day after him walking, riding the donkey, finding where the Lord wants him to go, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, stay here with the donkey. The lad and I will go yonder and worship, and we will come back to you. Now, after the Lord has spoken and he obeyed and went, look at his mindset. The Lord must just want me and my son to come over here and worship him. So I'm going to go and worship with my son until I hear further instructions. And notice when he got there, he saw spiritually where the place was. So God didn't say, hey, this mountain here. When he went in obedience and made it to the area, then he saw, oh, that's the place where the Lord wants me to be. You see that? First he heard, responded, then moved and took his 2 men, armor bearers, and then gave instructions, and then followed on to worship. Why can't we go with you, Abraham? Why do we got to stay with the donkey? Not knowing there was going to be a burnt offering. So guess what? When the man of God says, stay here, go do that, you don't know what's up ahead. How come so-and-so gets to be over there? How come so-and-so gets to go? Why do I have to? Yeah, you don't know what's going on up there. Maybe it's going to save you to stay with the donkey. Maybe you may be consumed in the offering or become the offering that you don't know about. Then he said, go yonder and worship, and we will come back to you. So Abraham took the wood he took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. Son, you carry the wood. And he took the fire in his hand. Oh, wait. No. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, And the two of them went together. Right. Son, carry the wood. But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am, my son. Then he said, look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Dad, we got fire, wood, knife, everything we need, but what are we offering? And Abraham said, my son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So son, don't worry. Father instructing son, teaching young. Don't worry about those things. The Lord told us to do this. We're being obedient. We're going, and he will provide as we go. You see that? Instructing as he walks, obeying as he walks, and showing his son obedience as he walks with him, showing him the way of faith, still not knowing he is required as the offering. Now wait a minute, we can just hold on there and say, well, do you think Abraham would have still did it if the Lord told him before to go to the mountains, you're going to offer your son up in those mountains? You think he would have did it? We don't know. You got to listen and wait and move and obey. And Abraham, it says, then they came to the place of which God had told him. And Abraham built an altar there and placed the wood in order. And he bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven. The angel of the Lord called to him from heaven as he's about to kill his son and offer him, and said, Abraham, Abraham. So he said again, here I am, even with knife in hand, still in obedience, still waiting and listening for the next words from the Almighty. Instructions. That's a whole lot. And he said, verse 12, do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God. I had to test you to see, will you give me the one thing that you believed me for 100 years? Will you give back to me the one thing that you hold dearest in your heart? Guess what? The tithe ain't even the dearest. And we struggle. We don't even want to get into mothers. If you're put in this situation, how many are you going to put your child that you gave birth and labored through on the altar and willing to kill them if God requires so? I know about 100% of moms are out. You will fail. Because emotion. This has nothing to do with emotion. It has to do with obedience. He said, now that I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked. After he heard once again, he looked. You hear and see. When the Lord, when you're open, when you're obedient, when you're submitted, you can hear and see. And there behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by its thorns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. God delivered and gave him something else to offer up instead of his son after he obeyed and was willing to sacrifice his all. God said, I don't want him. I just want to see your heart. Now let me give you something. I still want my offering though. Notice that. I still want my offering. So it wasn't a waste of fertility of you marching all the way over here for 3 days. Oh, you're still going to give me an offering, but we can change out the offering because now I know your heart. God searches and looks through the land for the heart after him. Listen, this is to encourage. God, guess what? He does the same thing, but it's not as drastic. Naturally, it seems. But to us, it seems like it's the same. Sometimes it will be. But our heart is what he wants. Are you willing to give him everything? When you're willing to give him everything, he gives you everything. Abraham called the name of the place, "The Lord will provide." He named the place that he went, "The Lord will provide." The Lord will, think about that. Last week we heard about King David taking a place, then naming it the city of David. After he took it, it became his and is still that name today. After Abraham passed his test, he named the place, "The Lord will provide." That is the name of that location, and it's still the name today. The Lord will provide. As it is said to this day, look at that. Look at that. As it is called to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. Then it says, then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven. Can we hear from heaven? Is our minds, is our spirits, is our souls clear to hear from heaven? That baby dancing was God speaking from heaven. As a prophet of God, I'm here to tell you, want me to prophesy? That is God speaking from heaven. You want a prophetic word? Liam dancing right here is God speaking from heaven. Spoke out a second time and said, by myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing, Gladney. Because you have done this thing, and you have not withheld your son, your only son, blessing I will bless you, and multiplying I will multiply your descendants. See, we always talk about the prophecy that came to him about the descendants and the stars. But this is what had to be done first. When God gives a prophetic word, there are things that have to be lined up and done first. It humbled me when my father said, he said, before you was a prophet, you was a man of God. You want titles? It's not about titles. That's all I want to be, is a man of God. That's all I want to be, is a man of God. I don't want to be nothing else. It's so great about being a doctor and a lawyer and all that's all wonderful, or, a scientist. Those are all beautiful. But for me, all I want to be is a man of God that walked with God. I want to be on that list. It's a short list. It said that men that walk with God, that's all I want to be. When I'm gone, they say, Gabriel Babin walked with God after his father, who walked with God, and his mother, who walked with God. Hold on, let's finish the prophecy. And to multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven, and those can't be counted, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. In your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. When you obey, your lineage is blessed. All those that have stood with the bishop and the prophetess, your lineage shall be blessed. It shall be blessed because you obeyed the call of God. Jay, your descendants will be blessed. And this is for everyone. Mama Francis, your descendants shall be blessed. Miss Joy, your descendants shall be blessed. All of those that have stood and marched with the man of God, that have said, I'm coming on this side of the line with Moses, your descendants, your lineage is blessed, is blessed, is blessed. Miss Gloria, that's you too. It's not a natural thing. This is a spirit thing. Listen, we can't want for nothing more than that. That our children's 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 until Christ comes back is blessed.
Blessed.
Nothing else.
Blessed.
I'm out. Welcome to Bishop.
Welcome the bishop. Come on.
Amen. You may be seated just for a few more moments. Wonderful service. Tremendous presence. The prophecy as the prophetess prayed at the beginning. Before we get any further, I have to honor those that need to be honored. I have to honor the prophetess Cookie. Because she has held the flame of praise and the flame of prayer. And she would not stop, even when I would say, I'm going to give the church a break. She would not. She would say, no, we don't stop praying on holidays. We don't stop praying. We don't stop. Right. Her and Diana demonstrated it for 7 years. It was 5 or 7. 7 years. You can sit down again. Gabriel always says how he was pulled along, which was actually true. He was there. He had to go to prayer even when Cookie had him in the exercise program when he was young. He had to go to prayer first. And then after that, he went to exercise, and then after that, he went to school. And that was daily. It's one thing Esther can tell you this, and all my children can tell you this, that Cookie don't miss. You don't miss school. You don't miss prayer. You don't miss God. Me and her, we agreed in the beginning. I'm talking about of our life. Of our life together and our family, we decided in the beginning. You people, you can make up. Well, listen what happened. You make up your decision as you hear. And the ones that say, no, I can't, I got to serve the flesh, you got to go. Whatever that is, you got to go. You can't stay here. But we said, me and her, what's the deal with God? Where's he at? She said, I'm going to church. I said, yeah, well, I already know about the Catholic Church. I've been raised in the Catholic Church. I know everything about the Catholic Church. I got my call as an altar, out of the altar boy on my knees. I got my call from God. I heard his voice just like Gabriel did. I heard his voice. He said he had work for me to do at 7. I was like, what? You think these kids know? He's doing it right here with these kids. You let your kids sit down, then there we have it. That's what will be control. Your kids will be controlling you, and then they'll be taking you out, or they'll be leading you in. The kids. Okay, you're not going to do it. I know. Because listen, we let the laws of our land are wrong. The laws of our land say that you have already signed. We all have signed over our, not me. No. But the laws of the land, we have signed our children. They tell you that they own your children. The state. We already said that's already in motion. That's already done. That's finished. That's law. But not in my house. It never has been in my house. It has never been in my house. Where over Clifton was he at? He's Bathroom Run. The whole Babin family is on Bathroom Run. Clifton, 42. Up. Is it really? Are you sure? Oh. Anyway, that bumps me to 44. If he's 43, that's all my always regulation. Anyway. So in my house, this is how it was in the beginning. When he came a little boy, when he was born into this deal, he knew right off the bat. He started crying and said, what are you doing? Yeah. At night, we talking about at night. I said, Timothy, I said, when it was talking about getting the wood, where's John? He would say, talking about getting the wood. I said, oh, Timothy. As soon as I heard that, Timothy, did you hear him calling you? Because he's calling you. Timothy, you're getting the wood. You're carrying the wood. You're carrying the wood for your daddy. Miguel. I gave Miguel a word, and I grabbed him. I gave Larry a word. I gave Joshua a word. I'm giving words all throughout the service. I gave Nehemiah a word. I gave Jay a word. I'm giving Ray constantly a word when you can find him. Hour and a half late for church, but he made it. Well, you know, you got to give a little grace to the old man. He's Ray's full of reasons. Just go ask him, he'll start laughing, and tell you, no, I don't want to hear. Hour and a half late, that don't work. Not for me. But anyway, in my house, this is how it's been. We're talking about my natural house. We say, you didn't get it. Now we're talking about the church. They're not changed. What I did in my natural house is what I've done in this house. That's why I say, no, I have to teach honor where there's no honor. I don't care about the state. I don't care about what they're doing out in the dog land. Oh, Bishop, you just said that. Listen, I'm raw. I'll put it like it is. They say, well, oh, what is the bishop talking about? What's the bishop talking about? Dog land. No. Listen, I'm talking about where the animals live. Now, you're so out of control, you got them in your house, living in your house, to think it's normal. No, that's not the way it was. When man came in, the animals were already set in place. Then man came in, the highest of God's creation. We're not created in the animal class. We're created in the God class. God created man in his own image, in his own likeness. So when you came in, the animals were here, the sun, the moon, the star was here. You didn't do it. You didn't put them up there, and you can't stop them. And you didn't put the earth here, so you can't destroy that neither. No matter what about your atom bomb ain't stronger than his voice. The strongest of the earth is not stronger than him. He said, heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will you build for me? You cannot. And then he put man in place, and he gave him authority, and he said, I will build my church. He said he would use Israel, not because Israel was the strongest, because it was the weakest of the nations. He said, I'll pick that. That's what he does. And he said he'd do the same thing, and he told me how to build. I'd already built the way the world's built. We had 700, 600, 700, 800, somewhere. We had 3 services. I did everything. I did everything, and I was on everything. Right. I was on TV, right? Oh, these people don't know. Me and Cookie was on TV. We got pictures. I got pictures I was on TV, on TBN, the biggest station, Christian station in the world. Me and Cookie was on there on a regular basis. I had everything. I had a daycare. I had my school. I had everything that you're supposed to have to be successful. So I'm successful. No. The Lord said, no, that's not what I want. What? He said, what you just did what everybody does. I don't want that. When you hear God, you're going to hear something different than what everybody else talking about. You see, Mama Francis, she knows. Mama Francis in her late 80s, and she will push to 100 quick, and no problem. Because she's riding the wave, and she ain't got no problem. Now everybody's stumbling and falling. No, she's not. And if you go to her, she will tell you, no, this doesn't come in my house. This is how I do. My garden is in my house. When I need something, I go to my garden. I'm not going out. No, I go to my garden. He said, and this is how it is in my house. He said, Mama, she said, come to my house for the eat. I said, okay, we come into Mama. Oh, great. We come to Mama. It's women go in the kitchen. She said, what are you doing? Get out. All the women go in the kitchen. Go help Mama friend. All the women get out of my kitchen. So you don't understand, because she got it set. So the intruder can't come in her house. When they came and said he hit her in the knee, and somebody got a problem in the knee, left knee, behind it. Anyway, she said that when they came and said, she said, I have the bishop pray. Just pray on me right here and I'll be fine. That's what she said. And she kept on until it said that, until that knee stopped. No, you go to the doctor, you listen to what the doctor say, you forget about what God says. Okay, anyway. You better learn how it goes. Either you learn how it goes or you go your way and see how that works for you. If you make it back. You got to know inside. A minute I thought about it, these fresh and new things that are just old tradition. I thought about when they first told me about Jesus, not from the Catholic Jesus, but when they told me about Jesus, when the message came, the good news. Did you know that the gospel is good news? Listen, it's about Jesus. You got to get Jesus before you get the kingdom. See, we talking about it here. We talking about kingdom living. You're talking about God's best. Kingdom living. That's what we talk. That's what we preach. Kingdom living. That's what the message, the good news. When I heard they told me about Jesus, I said, yeah. They asked me, was I saved? I'm a Catholic. I never heard those words before. I'm a Catholic through and through. I'm confirmed. Had my confirmation. Not only my baptism, or not only my confession, everything that you're supposed to do as a Catholic, I did. But when they asked me, are you saved? I thought, I knew inside of me. That means, am I right with God? And so I know all the things I did. I know all the things they said. I've done everything they said. Religion, tradition, I had it all. But I didn't have Jesus like that, like I needed him. Well, are you saved? Are you saved? Well, I see we got half the church not even saved. If you can't say yes, then you're not saved. You're trying to decide what that is. The salvation you know inside. Is Jesus there? Is he not? That's it. That's all it is. I've accepted him, or you're not, or you didn't. That's all it is. That gives you get your ticket. That's a ride out of here, because you're going out whether you want or not. Well, I guess you people don't even know. That means you can just go outside and get a train to run over you, truck run over you, bicycle knock you in the head, anything. You don't even know. Okay. Matthew 27. They ate up all my time, Cliff. What a wonderful story this is about the master. See, listen, everything was prophesied about the master. The whole Old Testament, all of the prophets were pointing to the Christ. Waiting for his arrival. When he comes, what happens? They want to kill him. What he erected to Israel is an example of the church. The Old Testament Israel is called the ecclesia, which is the called out ones. Right. So the Old Testament is the point to the New Testament of his church, Jesus. That's what he would come and do. So here he is. He's come on the scene. He's gathered his crew. His crew is a motley crew. All we know them as apostles now. They were disciples back then, and they were a motley crew. They was the people like us. If there ever was a motley crew, this would be us. If it would be a people and a church that that people would pick to be the place, it would not be us. It is not us today in carnal, natural people's minds. And we have people of color and different colors that cannot bring a spouse here. Yeah. Yeah. Because of all kind of foolishness that doesn't mean anything. You bring the spouse where you are, or you don't get one, or you can get one and take it out, go with it. We have all that happening. We've been having that happen for over 30 years that I've been in existence. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is that your mindset is not right about the church and what happens when you do the will of God. Everyone is not clapping. Everyone is not applauding you. They have just the opposite. They have knives and they have their teeth to bite you. And they bite you wherever they can. That's right. In the church, they bite you in the back. So they're smiling when you're in the front. Then when you turn away, they bite you in the back. They call backbiters, murmurers. They can't stay in here. You already heard. It's too hot. So look what happens here. Jesus has already picked his crew. He's already prophesied and said what was going to happen to him. Now, oh, listen to this. Now here in Matthew 27, Jesus is going before Pontius Pilate. Where you have to go before the systems, which is the kingdoms that the master, King Jesus, has subdued. They have already all bowed to him. Already. But here, it hasn't happened yet. But look what happened. So he goes to Pontius Pilate. They bring him, the priests with an S and the elders turn him, that's the church, leaders, turn over the master because they know that he's taking over. When he is brought before Pontius Pilate, the governor, the ruler. Remember now, Rome is ruling then. They're ruling the whole earth. So the Jews are in cahoots and know because the Jews are under submission to Rome. So they know they got to go through Rome to take care of Jesus because he is a problem. They know, I'm talking about the priests and the elders know that he's taking over. Just by his word, just by his action, because the people love him. The leaders don't love him, but the people love Jesus. But the leaders, they do not. So they say, we got to get rid of him. And so they bring Jesus in verse 11, Matthew 27, verse 11, they bring Jesus, the king, to Pontius Pilate. And look, the first thing Pontius Pilate says, are you the king of the Jews? The authority in the region and in the world is asking the master. He knows already what is said. Are you the king of the Jews? And the master, Jesus said, it is as you say. Oh, wow. You guys don't understand how magnificent this is? Because Jesus has not revealed himself but to only two other people that I know in the scripture that he revealed himself to. The blind man and the prostitute at the well. My recollection, those are the only two people that he revealed himself to. The rest of them, he just said, come follow me. And they heard those words and they said, hey. Listen, if you don't hear that, then what are you hearing? You hearing the barking from the outside. The wolves. The snakes. Deceivers. It said they were deceiving, and they're deceivers and deceiving. That's what the master said. He said in the last days, that's what it'd be. Deceivers, deceiving. Snakes, hissing of snakes. The wolves. That's what they do. The demons work through those. Now we see what happened here. After Jesus said, it is as you say, Pontius Pilate, then here the game is on. The game of life. What he's prophesied and said. Now they bring in the witnesses, false witnesses. It doesn't say that. Just the witnesses. Hey, we the witnesses against him. Liars. Deceivers. Getting paid money. Listen, you have all that happening in the game of life. But it can never stop you. It can never stop our nation. Even though, and so if you get caught up in that, so you all caught up in it. You caught up in it, caught up in it, caught up in it, whatever it is. You caught up in it. If you caught, you see the snares. You stumble. You fall on all kind of different mess. But if you stay up, heard the word, he said, come up. The Spirit was saying, come up. He said, she don't have time because I got a time limit on them. Yeah. Oh, I'll never get up. I'll never get a chance. We got so many people that got the Spirit of the Lord and that can speak. I gotta hold them down. You got so much time. Oh, let's push it a little bit further. And so the false witnesses come. And they say, now listen, it says in the scripture there that it says that Pilate knew that the Jews brought Jesus because of envy. The scriptures is clear, plain. They knew it was the whole thing was a lie. Pilate knew. And it says there, it's beautiful because it says there, he said there's one that we can release by law. But see, that's what you do wrong. When you go for the crowd, what does the crowd say? And you say, when you start wanting to know what to do, you start asking everybody, what do you think? Bad move. You don't go to everybody, that's a mistake. And ask, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You're going to altar, you're going to the crowd, or to your friends. Same thing. But you're going to your people. You're never going to get it, not there. You can never go the same or down. You must go up. For authority, I'm talking about to get wisdom. You got to go up. For the authority, you got to go counseling. Man of God, woman of God. People that are tested. Battle tested. When you're in the midst of the fire, you need the right word. You need the word of life, not the word of a religion. The word of tradition, that's not going to make it right now. You need the word of life. I'm a little bit too close, Jay. You need the word of life. in the midst of the fire. And so now look what happens. They say, we want Barabbas. The crowd. We want Barabbas. They shout out louder and louder and louder. And it starts talking about how the crowd gets more, and even a riot breaks out. And you want to know which way is right? The riot is not the right way. You people don't even know what a riot is. The only thing you ever heard about a riot is you might have read it or looked. You can look try to look it up on your phone. You don't even know what a riot is. We lived through a riot. They were in every city. Anyway, I don't have time. But you got to understand that's not where the voice is in the midst of the riot. I'm just telling you because it's there. Now look, this is the part you got to get. So there are two thieves. There are two thieves that have been crucified with Jesus. It says one on the left and one on the right. So it's Jesus in the middle, and there are two robbers and thieves. Now the two that they got them. Are you hearing this? You hearing it? And it's true. They are robbers and thieves. But the master is not. He's not. Even though he's crucified with them. And the thing that you have to understand, because we don't understand, the two say two different things. One ridicules him and speaks venom and evil out of his mouth and attacking him. While I was going to say, I have my detective here. This one on the spewing evil, the Dumas, Spanish, the Dumas talking crazy. Okay, but his life he's losing his life. His life is going, leaving him on the cross. He's dying. The one next to Jesus, but it's two. Now this is what you got to understand, because the thief and the robber, you're not going to like this. It's all of us. You say, I reject that, Bishop. I rebuke you, Bishop. Yeah, I know. But you need to look and see what the Bible says. Because in John 10, just write it down. In John 10, he makes it clear. The master. You got to understand. The Old Testament is fine. Don't try to give me that as what it is now, the standard. The standard is the master. All the Old Testament is pointing like he's coming. Okay, he's already come and he's gone. So we got to see what he said and what he did. And what he left record to his apostles to finish. That's what we got to talk about. The move of God is already on in this place, and you can go see it in Acts 2. Inside of Acts 2, 42, it talks about how they went from house to house. How it was in one house to the next house. The power of God was in one house and the next house and the next house. And said that's all they was doing is fellowshipping around the master. And this wonderful Holy Spirit that he's dropped off and left here on the earth. From house to house. Oh, no, I'm not going to have it in my house. Okay, that's fine. But your house will be just, it will be just, and the rest of them will just keep on doing it. And it'll keep on getting stronger. Until you heard it, they said they're going to come and lay down at the altar for days. It was prophesied today. You say, well, that can't be because, well, we already know you don't believe. Because you're carnal, you're natural. You got to look what it said. It said when the power of God were raised up in this place, it said that Chrissy got up. So Chrissy's saying, hey, wait a minute. Hey, hold the phone. I'm not out. It may look like I'm out. It may look like that I'm not going to make it because I'm in a wheelchair. But she said, hey, everybody, hey, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm all in. That's what she's saying. You can feel that power? Okay, now go sit down. Let me finish here. Let me finish. I only got much time. They don't have a show. Gladney, no show. No show. All right. You see me had to stop you. You started talking. I said, up, ooh, ooh. I said, what's that? Here we are. We got a nice flow going. The Spirit of the Lord is moving. People are coming to the altar, getting healed, getting delivered, getting set free. The worshipers are going. They're singing. Bird is going what she's doing what she does. Nolan's helping. All the singers finally. And they're all, what? And on. I said, what? Well, that's donkey talk. Stop over there. No. He's leading us out, but leading us out the wrong way. That's not, we don't want down, we want up. Okay, you missed that. Okay, so let's finish. So the other thief. Oh no, you go read John 10. Not now. You got to do that on this one. You got to do this on your own time. I'm just telling you where to go. You go to John 10. You read a whole thing about what the Master says. About, he says, I'm the door. He said, I'm the only way in. He said, he said, if you don't come through this way, this is John 10:1. No, John 10, verse 1. He said, if you don't come in through this door, you are a thief and a robber. So you can say, oh, well, that's not me because I've gone through the door. No. If you keep on reading down, he keeps on talking about, and look what he's talking about. And you don't even know. He's talking about the church. I'm talking about the church, the structure. He's laying it out how it's got to be. And we don't even know. I seen it yesterday. I said, oh, my. Look at this. The Master laid it all right here. Then it says, look, and you don't look. You just look later. Mark it down. In verse 8, he says, all that, no, you won't like this. He says, the Master says, all that have come before me, Dinah, all that have come before me are thieves and robbers. Because he's saying, you can't, without me, I haven't done it yet. You can't be born again without me. We're all in the kingdom of darkness. Even when you believe and you died, you went to the compartment of hell, but not of torment. The Master tells a story in Luke 16. You have to look at it. He tells the story. He says, this is how it is. You either believe in me, and if haven't done it, he hadn't done it yet, so you go to hell. But you go in an apartment that is comfort. And if you don't believe, you're in a compartment of torment. So people say, I'm in hell now. If you have torment, you need it. Yeah, you're getting the experience now. What are you going to have for eternity? If you're in torment, it's begun. You have to stop the tormentors. Oh, it's another story that you won't like in Luke in Matthew 17, where it talks about the tormentors are loosed to the unbeliever, the unforgiver, the one that doesn't forgive. I believe, I'm a Christian, but I don't forgive. Oh, you're the candidate for the tormentors. If you won't forgive women, and pride. Not me, I don't need. Tormentors, they're there, already there. You're tormented at night, you can't sleep. They're already there. It's a sneak preview of what you will have for eternity. That's not a good look. I'm past on that. I'm going where the peace is. So listen, so the other thief, the other robber, it comes to him while he is dying on his cross. He says, Lord, remember me. See, that's the one that cries for mercy. That's the one that accepts Jesus, recognizes what he did at the cross, and says, that is for me. He said, Lord, it's the other thief, the robber. Remember me when you come into your kingdom. He knew. It came to him by revelation. He knew that this is it for him. He's on his way out. but this one right here next to him has done nothing wrong. This king of the Jews has done nothing wrong. And he is going to his Father's kingdom. He saw it on the cross. And he said, you know, people like, no, of course you're not, because you can't wait to go get a bologna sandwich. Can't wait, I can't finish, because I'm tired now. Think about that. I'm tired now. I've been in church for 2 hours. 2 hours. I've been in church 2 hours. And some of you like, Ray has been in church 20 minutes. Because he came an hour and a half late. My administrator didn't even come. Every service I'm looking, where's my administrator? What kind of story is that? It's a sign. Where is my administrator? Every service I'm looking for certain people. I can call out other people. Where are they at? I already sent my message to Alan. Where is Alan? I sent it. Alan's car, half Alan's car since Thursday. Alan's on his feet. If he don't ride with his wife, he's on his feet. I provided him a car. He didn't even go pick it up. He can't get there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't have time. But Alan, please go pick your car up. The keys are under the mat. Where I told you is there waiting. That's how God has it for everybody here that needs something. It's already provided. When Nolan, I kept calling Nolan. I kept calling Nolan because Nolan's got to go. He's got to go out of places. We got to dynamite him out of there. He's been in there for over a decade. It's time to go. Been time. That's what we are. It's time to go. It's time to move. It's time to take the promised land. It's time to take what God has provided for you. When are we going to get it? I got to get mine now. I said, I'm back, and I got to get mine now. And I'm taking all that want to go into the promised land. And it's right here, so don't try it. Right here in the city of Oceanside and this whole region. It's here. I'm going to get mine, you can get yours. And I'll teach you how. I will teach you and I will show you how. I did it in my house, me and Cookie. We did it with our children. I told you that. I went over there 43. Got his children marching. I said, my God. I said, I keep staggering. That I am so amazed at what I've seen over there at the Babin's house. Now I got a new Babin's house. And I'm waiting on another one. I'm waiting on another one. I said, even though you have to give my name, you keep my name. When you get married, I'm talking about you women. No, some of you got to drop it. But this one, I said, no, you don't drop. You keep it like the movie star. You keep my name. Keep his silent. I got to get out. You got to finish reading the story about the master and what he did and how he did it. And how the accusers, how he shut them down. How you got to listen to this, and I'm out. You have to learn how to, when the accusers came, and they will come to you. When the accusers come and said he didn't answer. And it said that the governor was amazed.
Right.
Just amazed. That the master, Jesus, never answered a word against his accuser. You people want to explain. Stop. Don't explain. Say nothing. And listen, then you let the one that's unseen be seen. That's what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did. That's what we must do in this day. In this day. They did it in their day. Let's do it in our day. And we are. Okay, I'm out. We have what, Dinah? We have practice?
1 o'clock for the Christmas program.
My God. We have practice. It never ends. There's always something. In the church, there's always something going on. We got prayer on Monday, tomorrow morning, 6 or 7, and we have practice at the Babin Park at 1 p.m.
Yes, and we have the love feast at Miss Serena.
And we have the love feast at Miss Serena's house on Saturday.
Amen.
For Christmas, and I'm looking for my dish. And now I got a new program I'm starting that there's no dish. I did 45 days. I was going to do 90 days when I was doing the Master Cleanser back years ago. And I said, I'm going to do this until either Jesus heals me completely or until I die. Amen. That's what I said. I'm going to do 90 days. And the Lord said to me, half. Yeah. I said, thank you. And I did 45 days. And I believe that helped me to get to where I am now. Yeah. And then I've done a whole nother thing with the ketosis. I'm grateful for Justin and Diana to lead me, to show me, but I got to jump from that to another thing. Because I got to stay on until I get what I need. Yeah. He got to go. Yeah. I'm talking about the stomach. Yeah. I got everything else. It's got to go, and there's a reason why that's happening. I got to give the Lord a chance so I can be completely well. Yeah. Because that's what I'm after. Amen. And my last thing, when I was going to grow my white beard, not heavy, thick like these fools, but just light. Mama Francis said, Bishop, no. I already had it coming in. And she said, Bishop, again, the second time, no. Because she knew I'm coming in. So I went, okay. So you got to know what authority, when you hear authority. And so I said, every time I want to do it, no. So then I fixed up what I needed to. So anyway, anything else? Any other messages that we love? We love you, me and Cookie. We love all of you very much. My new niece is here with us. And what's her name? Exactly. And that's what it is. Oh, the other thing is Jazzaline. Where's Jazzaline? Jazzaline, I don't want to hear no more. That is my granddaughter with all the others. There's no hierarchy and level. I'm sick of the clattering, clucking from the chickens. So she is my granddaughter. I don't want to hear no more. That all of them are my grandchildren, whether I say their names or not. They all the same with me, so hear it. I'm glad that Christian's here, and the other boy Alan, and then the other one, what's his? Joel. They all mine. Well, I'm just saying, they all mine. So please leave me alone. God bless you. Go that way. Please.